Hi collective, welcome back to my channel. We are about relationships with self first, okay? Because we're learning to manage our emotions so we can have good relationships outside of ourselves, but we have to identify the intuition because we're looking for love. See, love of being, love of planet, love of God, love of beings, all right? Because we're in the energy, the house of love, okay? We're looking at our values, looking at the energy, all right, of Venus. All right, Venus is always about the attraction, the pleasure. Okay, this is all about the Roman methodology would say Venus was the goddess of love. So in astrology, right, the planet, okay, has the same kind of association. All right, Venus is more concerned with the quest for love, all right, and accomplishments, and for companionship. So we're looking to define the nature of love, all right, through our own relationship with ourselves, all right, so we can have close relationship outside of ourselves. So we're looking to choose, all right, to surround ourselves with the Venus of love, okay? So we're going to look at the finer things, all right? We're looking at the pleasure, we're looking at the good times, okay? We're looking at love, we're looking at like-minded people, we're looking at taking control, looking at our goals, the attraction of our goals. What is it that you love? But from the heart, from the seat of the soul, which is the heart. What's your goals? What's your pleasure? Are you pleasure seeking or are you doing attraction, you know? What's your day-to-day reality when it comes to love? Is it good times? Is it struggle love, you know? Use the most business way. Do you love your business more? Would you love to take control of people's business, or would you like to be in people's business? Looking at Capricorn, maybe you're a Capricorn person. Okay, so we're looking at your ambitions. Maybe someone loves to take control of them, other people's ambitions, or your ambitions, or yourself. You're looking at maybe a gardener, a farmer. Maybe you're into investments. We're looking at discipline when it comes to love, healthy boundaries. Okay, some of you might be a bit frustrated when it comes to love, all right, or you're looking at being a bit little pessimistic, or some of you are like really thirsty for knowledge but only to seek for the pleasure of love and money and status, power, that sort of thing. So what is love to you? What does love mean to you, collective? All right, so we're going to look at the energy of what love is. All right, so we're in the energy of love, good times, you know, looking at good times. We're looking at how to get a fair deal. Use your intuition. Someone's looking at the attractions of someone's goals when it comes to being diplomatic. Okay. Someone's in the pleasure of looking at someone's day-to-day reality of someone's relationship. We're looking at the good times. Are you in the most business-like way? And are you getting a fair deal? You've got to think of that. So now you're in the 7th house, all right? Someone's in their 7th house. They're looking at the love of their friends, maybe a contract, okay? Maybe you're looking at your own individual relationships, okay? We're looking at partnerships as well. And we're looking at the moon, secrets. So now we're in the energy of the 8th house. So we're looking at the moon, all right? Someone is in the energy of the 8th house. Okay, that's secret, that's rituals, that's cults. Maybe that's someone looking for more status and power, and that's their love, all right? Maybe someone's very active, like a rabbit, and that's how they get their shared assets, finances, all right, legacies, wills, all right? And now we're looking at the moon. What's your nurture? What's your nature? What's your feelings caused by your reaction when it comes to cooperation to become perfection? What's your decisions that has brought about a feeling that has caused a relationship to be looked at on its day-to-day reality? What's the results from the fairness shown by your reactions to get a fair deal when it comes to maybe business-like situations to bring in the good times? Because the moon highlights the need for your emotional security. It also means a feminine. It also means satisfaction, secrets, illusions, delusions. It means we must nurture the feminine aspects of each other, okay? So we all have a feminine energy within us, all right? Whether you're a male or a female. But we're looking at shedding light on our childhood fears maybe, all right? Or maybe being more effective. What's the effect it has on our relationships when it comes to love, right? When it comes to our adults, when it comes to living in our adulthood. How do we open doors to love? to have a beautiful dressing gown on. To wake up in the morning with your partner and to say, good morning, happy times. And not waking up and saying, good morning, I've woken up with the devil and I'm now in hell. All right? So now we're looking at a situation. We're looking at Venus, we're looking at love, looking at the attraction. What's love to you, you know? Look at your own relationship with yourself. Then look at your relationship with your family. Look at your emotions. Maybe you can do self-reflection through that, because everything starts from your first love, your family. Learn to identify your intuition so you can come in with that good spiritual wealth and spiritual health. Why? Because it comes from the essence of love, all right? So we're looking at the Ace of Swords. We're looking at the truth. When it comes to love, we need to come with the truth. The root of oneself has to come out of the darkness of lies and come within the truth with the light. This is what's going to bring us all the light, all right? That's in the darkness within oneself. So someone's looking at an Ace of Swords, looking at a new idea when it comes to love, or maybe someone's looking at a new conflict when it comes to a contract, okay? Or someone's looking for mental clarity. So go within yourself, all right? Seek the truth, all right, on the highest self. So we're looking at wisdom, we're looking at knowledge, looking at information and knowledge when it comes to love, when it comes to the root of oneself, okay, the root of one's spirituality. Because now we're looking at the soul of the self, because now our ancestors are giving us the hand of truth. So instead of giving Marvel and everyone else the power of the sword that goes into the sword that goes into the stone, the philosopher's stone, we all have the strength to take that sword out of the stone. It's just walk in love and walk in truth. That's it. Get the clarity from within yourself. Let your ancestors help you. How? By telling the truth so you can trust your intuition, all right? And see you're a divine energy, okay? So we're seeking divine energy. We're seeking the root of a truth when it comes to love. Someone's attraction to someone's goals when it comes to the truth. So we're looking at the truth when it comes to reunion. All right, looking at the truth when it comes to the Three of Cups, when it comes to our teamwork, all right, when it comes to friendships, celebrations, or when it comes to the circle of support, when it comes to people, things, and places. Maybe you're looking at a Queen of Pentacles, all right, maybe looking at your relationship to get a fair deal, but you're looking at the reactions of people's feelings caused by nurture and nature. You can now look at the decisions, okay, about a feminine when it comes to the results of fairness shown by the actions, okay, the everyday activity. So now we're looking at a reunion. Maybe someone looks at you very nurturing. They feel as if you're very reliable, okay. They feel you'd be a very good businesswoman. You can plant your foundation. So the truth is you can plant your foundation, all right, and start all over again, because we're gardeners. Just get your seeds out from within yourself and start planting, all right. Make the truth be your reliability, okay. Let that be your actions for people's reactions, to react in truth, okay. So nothing beats the truth, okay. So now we're highlighting the truth. Some of you have seen the truth about a third party person, a Queen of Pentacles, all right, that was relying on a lie. Okay, but we're nurturing that lie and we're coming out with the truth. Okay, maybe someone is in the energy, the King of Wands. Okay, maybe he's looking at the reliability, all right, or maybe his decision, okay, to bring in results, to bring in fairness shown by his actions when it comes to the love of friendship himself. All right, so now we're looking at the 7th house, looking at our friends, looking at partnerships, looking at marriage, maybe someone's relationship when it comes to someone's contract or a partner, whatever partner it is, but you're shipping with that partner, whether it's love or business, all right? Someone sees you as a very good business person, someone that you can be very reliable, all right? Maybe to a King of Wands. A King of Wands is a visionary. He can bring many creative ideas together. He can bring people together, all right? But we're looking at reliability. How reliable, okay, is someone when it comes to the purpose, your everyday activity, when it comes to the emotions and your attitude, when it comes to your habits? What's the reliability? Okay, is it a liability or reliability? Okay, so now we're looking at 3 of Swords. Someone feels heartbroken because they've looked into the book of life. They looked at the truth of their mental. They've opened up, okay, the mind. So the mind's not narrow. The mind's very open. It's getting lots of truth messages from the soul of the self, okay? Because now we're looking at the Venus energy. The attraction of someone's everyday goals is seeking the truth. So now it's opened up someone's mind, and someone's heart, okay, has opened up, and they realize they have 3 swords in the heart, because now the truth has opened up a book, okay? So now we have the book, all right, that created maybe a divorce or loss or depression, but someone's very hurt. Maybe someone's in sorrow about tomorrow because of a third-party person. So now we're looking at the root of a truth when it comes to good times, pleasure, or when it comes to attraction, all right? So now someone's opened up and reading information, knowledge, wisdom, and they're reading about a third party, and they're heartbroken. And now the wounded warrior is wounded from a third party person. They have clarity. There's lots of information. The book of life, the root of a truth from the tree of life, is opened up the mind from the heart. And because the heart was broken, the information has opened up the heart, because the mind has been illuminated about a truth that is a heartbreak, because now it's become 4 of swords. 4 of swords is all about we have to rest. Someone's resting, someone's thinking, someone's gone into the cousin of death, which is asleep. And when they're sleeping at night, in the coffin, they're holding on to the truth about heartbreak, because now they're getting spiritual messages illuminated to the mind, maybe from the divine feminine, okay, an air sign person. She's cutting open his head. She said, really, you're going to continue? Round 13, she's going to cut open a man's head and bring him bare truth, the root of his problem from the heart. Because why? The divine feminine is always trapped in the heart. He won't open up about the divine feminine. He'll open up to everybody else, but not the divine feminine. Why? Because he wears a facade. This is the wounded warrior, all right? So the wounded warrior is reading that they're the wounded warrior, okay? He's reading the truth that he has boundary issues, okay? And he has tools to create healthy boundaries. He has the boundaries and the strength and the ambition, okay, to create a healthier love and support, okay? Maybe he's reading from the sorrows of tomorrow, of the root of her thoughts, okay? The information she's got from love, the planet of love. So the planet of love is the root of her default. So she's bringing the information from the planet, because the planet works with us. Just align all those planets within you, okay? So now she's holding on to the truth closer to her heart, because it's gripped her. The truth has gripped her at the heart, all right? So he's made an opening, a crack, and they're both, it's like she's pierced the truth from his mind, from the mental, okay? So now we've opened up, and now he's reading a book, the book of knowledge, the book of self, okay? Maybe this person's very intuitive, they're very connected. Maybe they have a past life connection. This is why the planets of love are trying to get them to take control of a reunion, about celebration, support. Maybe the planet of love has been pushing so much information, downloads to this masculine that has a broken heart, to bring in a reunion, to say your spiritual family, they're here. They're knocking so many doors, you know. Our spiritual army is here for the spiritual warrior. Okay, so now we have the King of Swords. The spiritual warrior is guided by God. Okay, we're bringing in the 7th house. So we understand we have a connection with God. All right, but you have to see God in you at the highest self of your mind, Because that's heaven. Your highest self, heaven, the heart, could be earth. So now he's looking at the highest self for his highest good from the information, the wisdom that's sent down by God. See, the papers are here, doing it through the planet of Venus, through maybe an air sign person. All right. So now we're looking at celebration. Okay. We're looking at support. We're looking at the Three of Cups. We're looking at friendships. Because in the house of Capricorn, we're understanding that someone, okay, is trying to control. Because someone probably could be very overly ambitious, but lack the discipline. So now maybe someone's looking at something and trying to be realistic with the information, and they're heartbroken that maybe someone used them to seek money, status, and power. So now maybe someone wants to be alone because they're frustrated from the information, because they see the broken heart. Because someone looks like they've been a little bit pessimistic. All right. So now we're in the energy of Capricorn. Someone was looking at their cardinal. Someone's heartbroken about maybe reputation or someone's professional achievement, how they got there. Because now we're analyzing the moral condition of the Venus of love. What's your direction when it comes to love, when you have your information? All right. So you're looking at someone's life goals when it comes to the truth, when it comes to prestige, or someone's position when it comes to the truth. So now we're seeing the truth of a wounded warrior that's been guided by God to go within, all right, to see the reliability of maybe a Queen of Pentacles, okay? So now we're looking at a King of Wands, looking at a reliability with a Queen of Pentacles, the relationship. Now we have to see if we can get a fair deal. Maybe they're looking at a lawyer, a barrister, or they're looking at someone in investments like a fraud squad, or someone with high information, or this could be two different masculines or one masculine one that's seeking his truth and cutting out the Queen of Pentacles. So they go, find your daddy. Yeah, block. Maybe this masculine feels out in the cold, all right, because of the truth about Queen of Pentacles. Now there is a situation where he wants to be reliable to maybe the divine feminine and air sign person to do reunion celebration, but there's something in the way taking control of Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so now we're going within. Someone feels as if the information and knowledge he feels now, when he speaks in his truth, he's found his match when it comes to nurture and nature, when it comes to wisdom, knowledge, and information. Now he feels like an air sign person is a Queen of Pentacles, all right? Someone very resourceful, okay? Someone they can rely on. Someone that has patience but very hard working, all right? Maybe a fast talking person. So we're going within, we're doing the Hermit. So someone's relying on going within to seek God, okay? To do a transformation, to catch the snake. Because now we've seen the snake, and now the King of Wands is thinking, okay, about heartbreak and the truth. So now the truth is here about juggling or balancing, all right? Someone's juggling, maybe two masculines, but we've got the truth. We've looked within oneself, okay, and we're seeing Venus. Remember, Venus is about love, all right? It's about the goddess of love. So the goddess of love has been guided by the planet Venus to give information, maybe to a King of Wands, to bring reliability to his own self when it comes to creativity, when it comes to visions, when it comes to courage, when it comes to be reliable to oneself, to be more action orientated, and to stand up to oneself when it comes to a third party person, a Queen of Pentacles. Now maybe he's got that information, he's standing up for himself. He doesn't look like a wounded warrior anymore. He's standing up for himself. Why? Because he's got the information. He's got the knowledge, he's got the wisdom. Now he can transform anything now. He can do anything. This masculine can do anything but away from a Queen of Pentacles. All right? So now we're looking at the Ace. The Ace of... the Ace of Swords, all right? Remember, it's all about knowledge, about wisdom, it's about telling the truth, all right? It's about getting clarity for in oneself, all right, so you can make breakthroughs outside of yourself, okay? So now we've made that breakthrough, all right? And now we're looking for reunion. We're looking for moving forward with the truth, okay? Because now you have your Ace of Swords, all right? You have your mental clarity. It's like you have the love of truth being forceful within this masculine's mental. Now we have the seeds going into the mind. So now you have the mind file being reorganized in truth. So now we see the root of the truth is strong. Why? Because it's connecting to all aspects of life and the planet. This could be home, this could be family, it could be work, and it could be love. So now we're looking at our experiences that weave the connection, all right, and the divisions into our lives to create a pathway for a different pattern of thoughts. So maybe he's getting a different pattern of thoughts and he realized he's wounded around a third party person because maybe they're doing work or some type of relationship with Queen of Pentacles, which they were relying on. This Queen of Pentacles were relying on a King of Wands. Okay, so now we're looking at division. Okay, how did we get connections and divisions into our lives to create pathways to different patterns of thoughts? So now we're looking at the woman holding the sword, all right, and she's holding the sword of truth. She's gripping it at the heart, all right. Maybe the truth has poisoned and cut through and dispelled any difficulties or confusion that might hold her back. Nothing's holding her back. Why? Because the root of her family, because she's at the bottom of the root, you know, that gives her firmness, gives her the strength, is the Venus planet. Okay, so she's holding on to the truth, okay, within this difficulty and this confusion. So it's won't hold her back from giving the information to this masculine, maybe the King of Wands. So now we're looking at the sword, all right? It's about intellect, it's about logic, it's about reasons, it's about opportunities, it's about shining the truth. Remember, there's darkness there, light here, so we have to shine the truth. How does it come? With truth only. That's what's going to bring you new opportunities, and it's going to bring a shining new way to come through to you, all right? But it requires one to be very focused. Can you see how very focused she is? She's very, very focused, all right? So maybe there's an issue, all right, and there's been given a trouble. Someone attempted to look into a situation objectively, but now it's time for clarity of the mind. And anything that else was obstructed will soon become sharp and evident. So it's going to be very sharp and evident. There was a third party person that got in the way of the planet. So that's why the planet's here. Because someone got in the way. They were doing some energy foolishness. So now the planet is here, all right, to bring a reunion together, okay? So now we're looking at our goals, all right, looking at the Capricorn energy. Capricorn is the 10th house, all right? So the 10th house, okay, the 10th house brings in about homes, is about the houses, is about public, it's about our life, it's about standing within the community. The Capricorn is all about our career, our social status, and maybe our attitude, all right, or even down to our parenting. Okay, so this is about honor, this is about authority, this is about career, this is about profession, it's about our life direction and achievements, all right? So now the Venus planet is giving all that information that's cut open the mind file of this masculine. So now he's looking at maybe a third party person. Remember, so there's one woman there, the spirits are here, but there's someone in the way, a third party person. So now you've got to use your intuition. That's the goal. So someone's looking at a third party person's everyday reality when it comes to the 10th house, okay? When it comes to maybe someone's public, when it comes to life, when it comes to standing within the community, when it comes to the career. But someone in this community or in this institution or this support, someone was hiding money. Do you understand? Because now we're looking at a third party person, Queen of Pentacles, and we've realized that someone is sneaky beaky Becky. Maybe someone's hiding finances, information, wisdom overseas, all right, or under in a box somewhere, all right. So now we're looking at deception, all right, from a Queen of Pentacles, because now we're looking at heartbreak. Because the Three of Cups, when the Three of Cups is there, right, it says if somebody was invited to a party. So now we have the information that someone was invited to a party when it comes to a career. So someone was invited, all right, because the Three of Cups is one that someone is welcoming someone, okay? So there's two ladies. So there's masculine knew there was two options. Even though he's connected telepathically to someone, because Venus is showing us evidently that third party came in with a goal, because it was about career. So maybe someone invited someone, okay, or somebody wants to invite someone and toast with somebody, but there was a toasting moment of happiness. Now there's a story to tell, right? Because now we're looking at humor, looking at hope. So someone was toasting, maybe with someone that's very familiar, mostly with their culture, and maybe they speak the same kind of celebration, the same calling. Do you know what I mean? Someone's looking at a wish within their life, all right? They're looking at structure within their career. So someone was toasting celebrations, all right? But things ain't always what it seems. So maybe someone is changing energy. Whatever the structure of the toast, one thing is always true, is joy is multiplied by the number of people sharing it within one room. So 3 people were sharing this information downloaded from God, which God used the planet Venus to help us share information to this King of Wands. But maybe this King of Wands invited Miss Busybody, Queen of Pentacles. So now we have a problem. Okay, so now how many number of people are sharing in one room? That's the question. Now we have all information and knowledge, because now we have 3 people in a situation. Now it's time maybe for some to have fun, enjoy your social gathering. All right, maybe this is what happened with a Queen of Pentacles relying on a King of Wands, all right, for celebrations, gathering within a community. So now when someone's speaking about their feelings, all right, or maybe he went or she went and spoke, all right, about the feelings, all right, about liking someone, wanting to be part of a crowd, all right, about feeling embraced by your community, or maybe soon attended a party or an event. This is what they did, and they were relying on the parties and event. So now we're looking at someone is not being humdrum at work event, neither. So looking at maybe work events, all right, and we're looking at maybe gathering of the heart. So someone's looking at their heart, right, the heart of the matter when it comes to Venus of love. So now we're looking at something that may be nothing, but like this was planned, this card is showing you something is not quite right. Maybe someone's looking for a little bit of fun in their life, spice up, maybe with a third party person. So someone's taking some time, all right, to maybe compress in the wrong way, to do compressing with Pillow Talk, DJ Pillow and DJ Quill, talking about someone's information. 3 is a company. Here we go. Looking at good friends, cheering. All right. So someone was happy that the Venus of Love was giving information to an air sign person. So Queen of Pentacles comes along because they're more worried about their 7th house, all right? This could be a friend, but this friend was invited, Miss Queen of Pentacles, all right? So now we're going to look at the Miss Queen of Pentacles, okay? Miss Queen of Pentacles could be someone, all right, that's very overly ambitious, all right? But we're looking at the Knight of Pentacles, all right? The Knight of Pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles. This was like dutifully delivered, all right? This magical information about Venus, all right, being connected to an air sign person, all right? So now we're looking at the Queen Pentacles unlocking the mystical treasure of treacheries, stealing people's information, hiding people's information that they were relying on a King of Wands. Or someone looks at you, my lovely, as very mystical that can unlock so many treasures of the earth, all right, to plant foundations that can grow. All right, so now we're looking at nurturing. Someone probably looks at you very nurturing, or a masculine for a third party person was very nurturing, all right, and someone that found themselves. So now we're looking at someone he thought will carefully, all right, remove the earth and unlock the wooden box of his stupidity. So now we're looking at maybe she just unlocked the box of a brief, underwear, boxer shorts, okay? Because now we're looking at removing the boxer shorts, which was a wooden box. So now we're looking at careful. Oh yeah, she was very careful with taking information and hiding it. All right, the heart of Miss Pentacles, maybe the root within this earth was forged, all right, with patience and persistence, okay? Because now we're looking at someone that is being very careful implementing a pentacle within an image of a 5-pointed star. Acting like the soul of the self is the star. They found the soul of the self, the root of how they could become a very resourceful businesswoman, leaving legacies, retirements, and inheritance. So now we're looking at a situation when the star is upside right. We're looking at someone maybe feels as if an air sign person is physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually inspiration. Now we're looking at maybe someone was looking for a perfect life, but it looks like a superficial life with a Queen of Pentacles. Now we're looking at a secret so great that only the Queen could unlock it, which is an air sign person with the truth about a Queen of Pentacles, hiding a secret when it comes to money and information in their career. Okay, so now we're looking at a situation where someone went in relying on a King of Wands for support. Okay, and he took his court and order and fully embraced this person. So now we're looking at the urges. We're looking at the direct and the love from the planet that carefully installed information and guidance from the spirit. But somebody went to a Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles relying on the King of Wands. So now we're looking at the guidance of our spirit guides. Queen of Pentacles appears, all right, to represent a person in his life who is nurturing, down to earth. This person often, but not always, a woman, will always have a big heart. Really? Okay then. So now we're looking at a very welcoming person, greeting. When Mr. King of Wands went to maybe her land and said, look, I got treasure. She said, look, I know Africa. I can unlock so many treasures. Lie. Okay, so now we're looking at a situation. Somebody is trying to embody someone's qualities, maybe perhaps an air sign person when it comes to nurturing someone's life. So that's why someone is looking, spying on someone's day-to-day reality, a Queen of Pentacles, all right? So she can learn how to bring in the comfort and warmth. Do you understand? Because Mr. King of Wands went to this one to bring her soft moments, okay? Forging an energy that don't belong to her. Why? Because they're craven. She acts like she's far from a fool, but this Queen of Pentacles is the biggest fool on the planet. She stole from God's information. So now we're looking at a Queen of Pentacles, over ambitious, non-resourceful person with no value, not grounded, not independent, can't pull up their own drawers, not confident in her nature and nurture. Okay, so now we're looking at qualities of you. Okay, so now we're looking at the relationship when it comes to relying on the King of Wands. Now we're heartbroken, an air sign person when it comes to information. Now we've got the truth. Someone feels very wounded because now they've gone within, seen the truth. When you seek your own personal truth, you do your own hermit. Don't rely on no one. Rely on yourself, your own information from your own ancestors. Okay, because now we're looking at going within for our clarity, that quest for personal truth, spiritual illumination. That's what we're relying on. We're relying on no Queen of Pentacles, and we don't rely on a King of Wands. Why? Nothing but lies. All right. So now we're at 4, 5, 6, 7 lies. Lying, stealing, cheating, trying to get away with it, acting like friends. They're not friends. They're just greedy people looking for a long-term desire for a very long-term security when it comes to money and being in the public arena. That's all they care about. So let's move forward. Someone's juggling or someone's looking for a balance. Okay. So now we're looking at maybe the King of Wands. King of Wands meant to be a visionary person. All right. King of Wands is in the darkness of his own forest. Looking at his own mistakes, maybe. He's looking at a situation with maybe the Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. All right. Looking at his mistake, maybe with a Queen of Pentacles. Okay, because now we're looking at his reliability. Went unreliable, had goals. Oh yeah, and that's coming up with heartbreak. King of Wands, all right. He's meant to be that ultimate, maybe stage creative person, all right. He's the one that begins the Ace of Wands. It's like the air sign comes with the information. He can create. Do you understand? From the information, but he went to a Queen of Pentacles to create from someone else's information, because somebody was stealing someone's information through a King of Wands. So now we're looking at a situation, all right? Maybe he's find that final energetic key within himself, the information, why he's heartbroken, wounded. He's got this information about a third-party person. So now we're looking at someone maybe being more constructive with the expertise of being creative, coming together with the experience, having that reflection, all right, and rising up the flames, okay, with full height. But someone's recalling a heartbreak, a recall that is nowhere original, all right. We're looking at fake flames. We're looking at, like, what do you call them people again? A love bomber. There you go. He was love bombed by Queen of Pentacles. Oh yeah, for the creativity, for the passion, for the inspiration, for the aspiration of the fire that won't come out from this masculine, the mastery that he controls and runs. But he just run it with the Queen of Pentacles. Just run it fire, burn down the forest. There you go. So now we're looking at burning down his own forest when it comes to consuming with a Queen of Pentacles. Now you're looking at destroying everything in his path. There you go. Why? Because the Queen of Pentacles, he went to rely on the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles was relying on the King of Wands. Take it as it resonates. So now we're looking at the wand. Maybe you have to appreciate and understand the dangers of the pitfalls of being creative within this process. Now someone needs to see the remainings of someone's constructive criticism, knowledge, information, have respect for the planet. You've got no respect for the planet, but you want to respect the Queen of Pentacles between the legs of her genitals. Doing her fake self-impression. Look at me. While I hide things beneath the surface of self for my foundation. Let me steal for my foundation. So if you went into business with this person and you're laying down with this person, your rent is coming from your pocket, but you don't know that. Why? Because when you're getting knocked out and you're sleeping at night, she's in your pocket, baby, while you're sleeping, stealing your money. So she can say, hi, darling, when you wake up, here's your rent. I work so hard, don't I, dear, with all the information, you know. I'm so clever, darling. I'm the inspiration. You come to me, you know. I am Niger. I am commodity. Come to me, you know. I want you to follow me. I am the inspiration. Come down, come down, come down. Come follow me, huh? I'm the one to follow. Come. So the fool went. So now we're looking at maybe someone being ultimately unsuccessful with their stupid dilemma. Okay? So now we're looking at a situation. Oopsies. We're going to verify the truth. We're going to look into someone's foolery. So now we're looking at maybe coming to calmer waters, all right? We're trying to seek the love within inside oneself. We take that information, all right, to bring the mind to calmer waters, okay? Maybe the information was brought down to this masculine to come to calmer waters because he's the wounded warrior, all right? But now we're looking at celebration. Maybe he wants to go towards an air sign person to do a reunion. Because if we're looking at the day-to-day goals with a nosy Miss Queen of Pentacles and whatever she made within the 5 years, go and get my money. I'm not even joking with none of you. I don't care if he's a soulmate or not. I can stand up for myself, thank you. I'm not a wounded feminine. You are. You're the wounded masculine. Around a Queen of Pentacles, I don't have a damn clue. All right? So now we're looking at secrets. Oh, yeah, there you go. Secret love affair. Secretly looking at someone's day-to-day goals, secretly, for the information from a Queen of Swords. There you go. Verification, you know. God don't lie. Because we're looking at balance. We're looking at God within us. God is always here. So let's see Queen of Pentacles come out of this line now. Let's see your new ideas and your conflictions. Your new conflictions of your mental clarity. So now we're looking at the moon. We're looking at someone's everyday mood. All right. Looking at someone's expressing themselves within their purpose, everyday activity. They're taking information to relax their mind from an air sign person so that Queen of Pentacles can plant her foundation. So now she's stealing people's treasure when it comes to the knowledge of God. So she can say, look at me, I'm artistry. I'm very creative. I'm the one to follow. Okay, Miss Queen of Pentacles, let's see your relationship. Let's try and get a fair deal. Nope, they're bringing stagnation. That was the secret. Miss Queen of Pentacles bringing delays, obstacles. So because of this, maybe a Libra person look within herself to cover the heart, to protect the heart from any more heartbreak. We're relying on our intuition. Okay? Your eyes might be blocked, might be covered because they're not in your face. They're doing illusions, delusions, doing many secrets behind the surface of self. Doesn't really matter because we trust in God. God is guiding us through this heartbreak by saying, use your intuition, Libra or Gemini. Be artistic. Bring balance within yourself. You could be a judge. You could be a dancer or a designer. But we're looking at being extroverted with our information. We're going to be strong with it. We're going to hold on to the truth, nothing but the truth. Because when you have faith in God, that is the biggest faith you have to deeply pull from beneath you. People look at the surface of believing in God. But trust me, be in my shoes in the last 5 years, 12 years, or my whole life. The only thing you have got is God. So hanging on to God is not a problem for me. It's a problem for these people. Why? They don't believe in God. If you did, you wouldn't do illusions, delusions, and doing everything behind the surface of self. Won't look at the shadows of someone's self. Too many secrets. So now someone that went in reliable to a Queen of Pentacles is very wounded. We're looking at the wounded warrior. A spiritual warrior has many people within their army, within the spiritual world. So we're looking at this decision from a Queen of Pentacles that bring in a heartbreak. We're looking at the illusions, delusions, the delays, the obstacles, the stealing. We're looking at the conscious mind of this person's communication, the relationships, the reasons, the logic for this masculine to go unreliable or for her to be relying on a King of Wands secretly. Because now we're looking at someone's wish fulfillment, how they do what's above is below, how they bring their wishes through their intuition. But because the Queen of Pentacles wants to be the center of attention, she wants to get rid of the Queen of Swords through the King of Wands. Because she's the counterpart to the King, the Queen of Wands. They bring a difficulty for us to bring down the book, the knowledge from God to help us go forward in the struggles of life. Because there's less hope out here and more scene of struggles, fires, obstacles, delays. We have to believe in God. All right? God is real. Now we're looking at reliability of goals, organizations. So we're looking at disorganization, reliability, and now we're looking at relying on spiritual justice now. We're relying on fairness, balance, truth. And now, maybe this masculine is looking at this Queen of Pentacles, relying on the truth, the blunt truth, and nothing but the truth, but he didn't get it. Got it from an air sign person, maybe a Libra person, about this heartbreak, about these difficulties, that had a pain for the mind, that had this mind stuck with pure difficulties, maybe overseas, someone's overseas, or somebody wants to relocate from overseas. Now we're looking at the justice system within the spiritual world. How heavy is your heart when it comes to reliability? Is it heavy as a stone or light as a feather? Looking at cause and effect, looking at win-win, looking at the solutions from this truth coming out. Because somebody went reliable and relying on the spiritual justice that would get us to that goal. For an air sign person. Looking at the nurturing of her mothership when it comes to her spiritual son. So she's saying justice for baby Cub and justice for God, I guess. you know? No more guessing. Just the truth and nothing but the truth. And we don't care what you lot say. You can come down. We don't care. We're going for victory. Now we're looking at the King of Wands, all right? Maybe they're looking for a decision to bring about a result, to bring about fairness. To Libra, Gemini, Aquarius person. Because now we're looking at justice when it comes to legacy, our ancestors' legacy, our inheritance, the wisdom, the knowledge. We're looking at someone that was relying on someone's inheritance to result in the fairness of their own situation. And that's why there's obstacles and delays, secrets. Somebody wants to come forward to an air sign person to bring the mind to calmer waters. But she don't need that. She's got the planet. The planet is helping to bring calmer waters because her default is love within this difficult situation. So someone relocated, or somebody wants to relocate towards an air sign person. That's the secret. Probably wants to do a reunion, bring support after delay, obstacles with a Queen of Pentacles. Maybe somebody wants to rely on the fairness, balance, truth, and wants to maybe build and commit to building a legacy, to bring in balance, to bring in the soul world. But maybe somebody had to do one or two completions because somebody did not bring closure. Instead, they wanted to close this chapter of the soul world to open up the legs of a Queen of Pentacles, to make sure she was the center of her own world. So she can say, look at me. All right, we looked at you. And moving on. So someone's opened up the mind of the mind file and has got lots of information from the spiritual world, from the highest self, okay? Maybe from a spiritual teacher, an air sign person, but we understand the difficulty within this institution. Maybe with a Taurus person, the truth is coming out about this heartbreak within this institution that had maybe a Taurus person. You're now looking at the house 2. Someone's very jealous, lazy, self-indulgent, stubborn person. Looking at someone being very cautious, but you've got to be very cautious by using your highest self. Someone acted like they were very conventional, but they're not. But someone's very determined to bring difficulty towards the truth. Someone's trying to be very effective when it comes to the arts, gardening, singing, or maybe a builder. Now we're looking at maybe someone trying to be very industrious while they're planting their foundation, but acting like they're introverted, very clever, maybe a spiritual teacher, or very informative when it comes to information, when it comes to their knowledge. But now we're looking at someone that's looking at a materialistic whore. Maybe somebody needs to be very patient because looking at a pessimistic person, all right, very persistent, possessive, unreliable person, relying on an air sign person when it comes to information that came down, that was guided by our spiritual guides. So now I'm looking at our spiritual guides, or higher self, or this institution being heartbroken is going to come to an end. All right, somebody wanted unalive, but that was a secret for a wounded warrior and an air sign person. Take it as it resonates. Do I care if you don't want to hear the truth or not? I don't really give a shit. You don't like to look at celebrities like they're perfect, innocent, don't do nothing. Well, I'm sticking to the truth, nothing but the truth, and he doesn't like it. Oh, well, keep strolling. All right? So now looking at the wounded warrior, maybe a Sagittarius person, maybe a Cancer person, feeling to seek within oneself when it comes to being guided by spiritual guides. Someone's looking at a painful ending when they plan a foundation. For Earth sign person or Gemini person is looking at a painful ending. They're looking at creating their own new foundation, okay? Somebody was heartbroken. Why? Because somebody was stabbed in the back multiple times, over and over and over again. Could be 10 years, maybe to plant a foundation. They were relying on a King of Wands, all right? So now we're looking at the wounded warrior, and he didn't have no healthy boundaries, okay? So you've got to learn from your lessons, all right, my lovelies, okay? Yes, you went through darkness, but look at that. Look at that yellow, and it's going to become very big once you come out of the secret and you tell the truth, not but the truth, all right? You stand up for yourself with healthy boundaries, and you block a Queen of Pentacles. Whoever doesn't, who cares? I don't. So now I'm looking at a painful ending, all right, when it comes to telepathic communication. Somebody had telepathic communication with a Gemini person to plant a new foundation, but instead they went to someone else and brought delays, obstacles, all right? And somebody probably wants to make a truth. Maybe the truth wants to be a Queen of Pentacles. And it's going to be no. Somebody was looking at messages from a wounded warrior. That was the secret. Fast speed messages. All right, to a wounded warrior from our spiritual guides. So someone brought obstacles, delays, and that was the secret. Maybe secretly they want to come with a truce, all right? And it's always going to be no. So now maybe you're looking at a King of Pentacles, King and Queen of Pentacles, all right? Maybe looking at a power couple, no, that was the secret. There was a power couple, all right? Maybe the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords was looking at this situation. There was a delay, all right? Maybe there was a secret, maybe between the King of Pentacles. Now he feels wounded because maybe they had a secret financial arrangement when it came to the career part. Maybe there's a secret arrangement between these two when it comes to investments. Oh yeah, so the more delays we get, the more secret comes out, eh? So now we're looking at delays now. Now this is looking at maybe a lawsuit from a King of Pentacles. Why? Something was promised and was not delivered. And now there's a painful ending. Somebody was backstabbed. Somebody was trying to sink someone's ship. Somebody was stabbing people behind their back on purpose. Someone trying to hide, all right, the situation. He's now looking at the Two of Swords, King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is looking at this wounded warrior, looking at maybe God within himself. He's seeing the light. He's looking at his highest self. He's got the information. He's got the truth. He's holding on to the truth. Nothing about the truth. All right, so now we've seen the truth. Maybe there is a divine feminine, divine masculine in the making when it comes to being a power couple, when it comes to being practical on earth. Now you're going to probably see one of the biggest, most powerful couple in the world when it comes to being practical. That's the lesson of service, being served, but serving God. All right, that's what makes you become very practical and very powerful. So now we're looking at a situation, maybe the King of Pentacles. Or maybe the King of Wands is very grounded after being wounded over a secret third-party energy that he invited to maybe do a career with. They were looking at sparkling ideas. The energy from God. So now we're looking at a situation. The Queen of Pentacles is looking at sparkling ideas, or somebody's looking at a new love. All right. This is called the Page of Wands. All right. Someone's looking at walking in and being active, all right, with a new project or a creative idea. And that's what happened. Somebody walked to a Queen of Pentacles with a new creative idea, and now it's bringing obstacles, delays, and now there's a legal problem within the spiritual world or the earth world. All right, now there's a heartbreak and it's facing over there. 1, 2, 3. Queen of Pentacles, bring a heartbreak. So now we're going to be weighing the heart within the halls of love and truth. How heavy is your heart, Miss Queen of Pentacles? How heavy do you rely on your own heart, or do you rely on everybody else to create your legacy? Because you have to have that leg open for every man to see. So now we're looking at being a soul, having a human experience. How do you do that? Self-discipline, self-control, okay, believing in God, having that faith. Go by faith, not by sight. Go by intuition, not by sight. Have that willpower. Okay. Once you have that willpower, the sky's your limit. There's nothing can hold you back. Why? Because you made your ancestors, your spiritual guide, and God take the reins. It's like when you're riding a horse, you've got to have the reins, right? You let it go. Let go of control. Let God do it. Let ancestors do it. All right. So now we're looking at going within. The Hermit. That's how you go within. Go within and seek your own personal truth. Okay? So when you go within to do your own clarity, it's like doing your own personal quest, your own spiritual quest. It's a soul journey, something for yourself. So someone would bring obstacles and delays on purpose, so someone doesn't see their legacy that's connected to the spiritual world. So now we're looking at a new cycle. Go within. Do your Wheel of Fortune. It's not, people always say, oh, I want a fortune. All right, so how do you get that fortune? Just planting, right? You've got to tune in. Fortune. For your fortune. You've got to tune in for your Wheel of Fortune. You got to go within. But someone tried to stop this Wheel of Fortune and create this destiny to stay over here. That's why there's justice and heartbreak about the secret when it comes to maybe a solid investor or resourceful man when it comes to practicality, okay, when it comes to hard work. Because now someone, maybe King of Wands, is thinking about his legacy now. He went to open the legs of the devil and he didn't see his legacy. What did he see? Nothing but willies for his wills to be signed at night. So now we're out thinking about heartbreak, think about the truth. Someone doing solitude, someone retreating, resting, renewal, solitude, you know, recover from the devil. Planting a legacy with the devil. So now we're looking at our legacies. We're looking at planting, pursuing our legacies. But somebody was planting a legacy with the devil. Wants to be the devil's son-in-law. So now we're looking at the legacy of the relationship. How Queen of Pentacles gets a fair deal. The devil's her bloodline when it comes to the root of that person. Don't have to believe me. Don't have to believe anyone. You can go on YouTube, go on TikTok. Everyone's talking about getting these dreams about giants knocking doors and say, you ready? I've seen it myself. I saw a whole crowd. I can hear there's a revolution coming in. Revelation. But you've got to use intuition. There's a new time coming in now. Our spiritual army has landed. And we're here to create heaven on earth. And there's no stopping us. We don't care what any of you lot say. There's a whole army of us ready with the truth. We don't have to do nothing. Just walk in love, talk in truth, and hold on to the truth, even if it pierces the heart from the ignorance of the stupidities of these petty people. But it's okay, because God's head's going to come out that sky. Adi and I walked towards God's head. And I said, you've got such a powerful soul. God's head popped out. Saw the temple. And I saw many, 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 many people running like headless chickens because they followed the wrong entity. I saw many. Don't ever, ever let anyone's tarot, anyone's message, knowledge, wisdom, experience be forced upon you. Please use your intuition. Use that gut feeling. Use your image and your visions from in your dreams. Not just in your dreams, but outside of yourself. When you're outside, walking on earth. This is earth school. This is universe. It's like a university. Look within yourself and don't be thieved from your own resources or your own opportunities to walk forward to the soul world. Sometimes just thinking about it makes me want to cry because I believe it. I believe it that much. One time, Addy asked me for something at a plate. He had like coleslaw and salmon. And he asked me for something. And I went to go and get it. Then he went looking for me. He said, you've gone for so long. Where did you go? I said, it's okay. I'm here. You asked me for something. I just went to go and get it. He goes, did you? Really? I said, yeah, I couldn't find it inside. I had to go out and get it. He said, really, for me? And I said, yeah, for you. And we both walked off to this huge gold, like a gold mine with rubies on it. Remember, walk in love, talk in truth. Love you guys. Bye.